Hello everyone, and thank you very much for your attention, for participating in this stream. Today is 17th of March, now it's 9 o'clock in the evening Moscow time, and I guess I'm online now. Yes, I am. So once again, thank you all for your attention, and of course many thanks to all the members of our community who will join us later on, or who will watch this live stream in recording. Only 12 of us right now, but hopefully more people will join. Anyway, as always, I will share with you some news that I prepare for tomorrow's first update, and then I will monitor chat. If I see any questions, I will try to answer if I can, and well, that's gonna be it. Some friendly chat as always, and informal talk, basically. So yes, let's start this live stream. So there we go. So first news. First of all, of course, information about elections, in Russia, presidential elections. And first news that I want to share with you is about a percentage point or number of people that participated in elections. And for 4 o'clock this afternoon, number was 70%, little more than 70%. So towards 8 o'clock, I believe number did reach increased at least for 5%, 5 additional percent. And right now we have preliminary data. RIA Novosti is reporting a few minutes ago, and well, according to RIA Novosti, Putin is leading in election with 87.8% of votes. Well, that's something, that's enormous support, of course. That's numbers from exit polls, by the way. This is not numbers of election committee, Central Election Committee. Well, this number will change, I believe, but in any case, Putin will have, if exit polls are on 87%, then definitely at least 70-75%, I guess. Let's continue, and also, dear friends, final numbers about observers that were observing these elections. 1,115 observers from 129 countries were monitoring election processes, and of course all of them will share their opinion about elections. Some observers were in bigger groups from organizations, some from countries, some independent observers. So in upcoming days, I believe we will hear comments from these people. In general, elections went quite in calm atmosphere. It was a 3-day election, and therefore, of course, there was no rush to vote on the first day or in the second day. Many people voted today, and well, only borderline regions with Ukraine that were suffering these days because of the shellings from Kyiv regime. Unfortunately, there were many instances in Kherson region, in other regions where Kyiv regime's forces were targeting buildings where polling stations were located, when it comes to new regions. And also, by the way, regions that are recognized as a part of Russia even by US and EU, like Belgorod region and the Kursk region, unfortunately came under fire. Today Belgorod was shelled intensively. And for example, before I started the live stream, Slaviangrad, if I'm not mistaken, yes, this is Slaviangrad, by the way, shared this video. And on this video you can see shelling of Belgorod with cluster munition, which is war crime. They are shelling city, peaceful city. They are directly targeting civilians. This video is about this cluster shelling also. So of course, war crime committed by Kiev regime. Another war crime. And as I said in today's first update, and yesterday I mentioned this topic also, there were instances when some people under orders from outside or by their own will were conducting some sabotage activity. There were instances when people were pouring some green liquid, iod, into beans. So there were some instances when, for example, today I read information that well, one elderly woman went to polling station with fireworks and detonated that firework, and according to some reports she lost her arm because of it. She was injured as a result of this activity. I saw many videos when people were conducting this sabotage act, and same time they were talking to somebody on the phone. If they were recording this sabotage to prove something to someone, most likely that was involvement of Ukraine's secret services. Most likely, of course, security services will deal with this topic, and later on we will probably learn some more information. And I believe there are some instances also when individuals came under propaganda of the West through TikTok, through some other social media platforms, and committed these sabotage acts with destroying these ballot boxes and stuff. But in general, elections went peacefully. And only question was how many votes will current president of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, will receive. Exit poll is 87%. Okay, extremely high support, of course. My prediction was 65-70%. But anyway, in upcoming days we will issue additional exit polls, by the way, in real time. These numbers are coming in real time. So Kharitonov, candidate from Communist Party, receives 4.7% according to exit polls. Davankov, candidate from New People's Party, 3.6%. He is on third place. And Slutsky, who was representing one of the oldest parties in Russia, Liberal Democratic Party, only 2.5%. So that's quite surprising. As I mentioned in the morning's update, this New People's Party is in quite short time become federal level party. They are represented in the parliament, in the State Duma, and well, if Davankov will maintain third positions, then that's definitely not bad. Let's say definitely not bad result for a new party, especially when on the first place we have a candidate who was supported not just by ruling party, I mean President Putin, but also by many other parties also. Therefore, they did not have their own candidates. And on second place is the Communist Party, which is traditionally second most popular party in Russia because of the history, and they have their own electorate for sure. So Anyway, let's continue now. And RIA Novosti's report that in Transnistria, probably many of you did see on my Telegram channel, on some other news sources also, information that Mi-8 helicopter, transport helicopter, was targeted in Transnistria by kamikaze drone today. On my Telegram I did share video of that instance. So this is it, by the way. This is the video. As you can see, helicopter was targeted. No one was injured. It was an empty helicopter, but according to reports that I see in different Telegram channels and in the media, a drone came from drone was directed from Ukrainian territory. Drone was directed from Ukrainian territory. Moldavian government already made a statement, and they said that Ukraine has nothing to do with it. But of course, the government of Moldavia, those puppets of the Washington, cannot be trusted ever. And this is significant escalation, of course, towards Transnistria. I guess if Kiev regime started conducting terrorist attacks on Transnistria, then this type of instances will only increase in upcoming days. Most likely, governments of or regimes in Moldova and criminal regimes, by the way, in Moldova and Ukraine, most likely are operating together under leadership of or under coordination of Western secret services, Washington, US and British secret services first of all, although Romanian secret services most likely also will be involved, because of course Romania has claims, maybe not officially, but many people in Romania have claims on Moldova, on entire Moldova, by the way, because this territory used to be part of Romania because before Second World War, and some parts of modern Ukraine also. Let's continue, and RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian armed forces established full control today over the settlement of Mirnaya in Zaporozhye direction. And let me show you Mirnaya settlement. It's, I mean, if you take a look at the map, this is Orekhov Bridgehead here. Today, several Ukrainian soldiers were taken as prisoners of the war in Verbovo direction. Russian forces were increasing pressure in Rabotina area, and simultaneously, surprisingly, I guess no one was expecting this development, Russian forces established control over the Mirnaya, this village here. Quite small village, but still. For similar size villages on Avdiivka direction, clashes are taking place for so many days now. I mean, Orlovka, Toninka, and Berdichi. And when it comes to those settlements, Orlovka, Toninka, Berdichi, several military channels reported today that Russian armed forces improved their position on every single direction. When it comes to Avdiivka sector, Russian forces improved their position significantly in Berdichi area. They moved forward 500 to 700 meters in the village itself. Orlovka is almost entirely under Russian control. Just a little part on the northern side was controlled by Ukrainian forces, and most likely they will flee that area if already did not, if still are, you know, there. And when it comes to Toninka, this is Toninka, by the way. Entire village, according to some military channels, is under full Russian control. Only area that was disputed is this farm area, and some channels are reporting that Russian forces established control over this farm area also. Village itself, mostly under Russian control. Just this small street here, that there was presence of Ukrainian forces. And let's see, I mean, military channels will probably share with us more information later on, but I would not be surprised at all if we will receive information that Tonika is under full Russian control now. Let's continue with some additional news. Lenta.ru is reporting that Well, this is also interesting, by the way. Late afternoon today, information was distributed by different channels that Russian air defense systems shut down, Russian fighters basically with the manpad shut down Ukrainian Mi-8 helicopter in Kozinka direction, in Sumy region of Ukraine, and this helicopter was moving towards Kozinka village, which is on Russian side of the border. This is the area where Kiev regime was sending, one of the directions where Kiev regime was sending its militaries. This is Kozinka, by the way, a village, and this is the area where helicopter was shut down, Lukashovka, a village on the Ukrainian side of the border. And what is interesting, I share on my Telegram video of burning Ukrainian helicopter. Many of you probably see that video. Yeah, this is it. So this is the helicopter, and well, even the Russian Defense Ministry reported about Mi-8, many media channels reported, media outlets reported about Ukrainian Mi-8 helicopter that was destroyed. Same time, some big channels, by the way, some big channels shared information that with public that maybe this was not Mi-8, but Mi-24 or even UH-60 Black Hawk, which is quite surprising. Really, I did not even knew that Kiev regime had a UH-60. It's UH-60, isn't it? Black Hawk helicopters. DD Geopolitics reported about it and even shared this video. I don't know if this video is real or maybe, I don't know, AI's product, but DD Geopolitics is a big channel. And they commented it that allegedly the first evidence of the presence of two American UH-68 Black Hawk helicopters in a service with the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Some sources suggested that the helicopter shut down today was a Black Hawk, but the MOD of Russian Federation stated that it was a Ukrainian Mi-8. Also, I see reports about that destroyed helicopter being Mi-24, although simultaneously information was shared with public that on board of that helicopter there was some up to 20 military personnel. And if that's the case, if there was 10 to 15 or 20 military personnel on that helicopter, in that case, it cannot even theoretically be Mi-24. Mi-24 cannot take on board that many soldiers with full gear. It's just not possible. But Mi-8 definitely can, and I guess Black Hawk, US-made Black Hawk helicopter also can take 10-15 military personnel on board, if necessary, maybe even more. So who knows? For tomorrow morning we will have more information, of course, and I will share additional information on during the first news update. But theoretically, at least, it is possible that we have a first case of destruction of a US-made Black Hawk helicopter in a zone of special military operation. Who knows? Let's continue with some additional news. And well, RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian armed forces conducted today strikes with the Iskander missile, I believe, towards Nikolaev, towards the facility of Ukraine's military-industrial complex, one of the facilities where Western-made military equipment was stored for and repaired. And among those Western military equipment, according to this report, was Leopard 2 tanks also. So maybe Kiev regime lost some additional bunch of Leopard 2s today during that Russian strike in Nikolaev area. And by the way, RT is reporting that article was published in Washington Post, according to which Ukraine has told its Western backers that munition for some of its air defense systems could be almost used up by the end of March, which is good news, by the way, if true. Which is good news. Today I saw on one of the channels information that Russian forces destroyed another Iris-T air defense system of Kiev regime. And if Washington Post is correct in this information, although I will take any information with pinch of salt, and that's what I recommend to everybody, to take every information with a pinch of salt. We definitely, that's what I do, by the way, myself. We need more and more sources to make sure that information is correct. And I wouldn't be surprised if Washington Post is engaged in some kind of disinformation operation by sharing information that Kiev regime has no air defense missiles left. But it might be the case, especially because of the successful strikes of Russian armed forces against air defense systems of Kiev regime, especially in recent weeks. Which is, I mean, if true, by the way, it's good news, because especially for Russian frontline aviation, undoubtedly. And what information we have here? TASS news agencies report that, well, according to Wall Street Journal, EU military-industrial complex will manage to significantly increase production of munition only towards end of 2025, which is also good news, for sure. Less weapons and munition Kiev regime will receive. There will be less casualties and less damage on the ground, and sooner this conflict will end. So, you know, RT's report that EU state urges UK to introduce conscription. You might laugh at this information, but one of the greatest superpowers, by the way, in this world, one of the greatest superpowers, under the name of Latvia, is urging United Kingdom to introduce conscription. And this is big, of course. This is very serious. I guess UK's government is in shock now. And, you know, by receiving such order from this superpower, Latvia. And, of course, they will reply and they will say, they will stand on their knees before a Latvian ambassador in London, and they will promise that they're going to introduce conscription, undoubtedly. Unbelievable, man. These guys, especially in these quasi-states, like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, man, they truly lost leadership of those quasi-states, truly lost touch with reality. Absolutely. I mean, what is your business, man? I mean, and this was said, by the way, by Foreign Minister of Latvia. So high-ranking official is giving, of the country that is failed state in every sense, in every possible sense, is giving recommendations to United Kingdom. Come on, man, it's a shame for UK that this is happening, man. If it was up to me, I will respond very strongly to Latvia's leadership, and I will send clear message to northern places, because maybe UK is weak, maybe UK is not as strong as it used to be, but definitely in no position to receive some almost the orders from Latvia, man. Come on. Anyway, this is it. This is it for this short summary. This is it for this short summary. And, well, let's go through some comments now. And if I see questions, as always, dear friends, I will definitely try to answer. And I apologize if I miss any questions, because after previous live stream, traditional live stream, Sunday live stream on YouTube, one of the members of our community was kind of upset with me that I missed his question, and of course it was not intentional. I mean, I'm trying my best to answer the question, and to make it a little bit easier, dear friends, please put some Q, capital Q, before the question if you have one. Or if you want to talk about some topic, it may not be a question, but just some capital letters so that I will notice it a little easier. And before I continue, if I may, let me mention that I mean, if you want to, or if you're considering to support my project, this small media project of mine, in real time right now, and send some message, maybe comment, maybe question, you can do it through donation alert program, which is, I mean, link is under this video in description box, or through Boosty. You can send question, and I will monitor both these platforms. And if I see any question or commentary, I will read it while we are online. And well, that's been said, let's go through some questions now. And once again, thank you all for your attention. Thank you all for your attention, and of course, many thanks to all the members of our community who will join later on, and who will watch this video in recording. So let's go. So question, yes, I see first question. Saleh Newton is asking, Levan, we are waiting for the candidates announcements. It's about presidential elections. I did share in the beginning of the stream exit poll numbers. Putin is leading with a huge margin. Although this is exit poll, of course, by the way, and of course, official numbers from Central Election Commission will be later on, maybe in a few hours time. We will know some numbers. Let's go through questions. Come on, man, Flick is here. I see comment of Ruth. Hello, Ruth, veteran of our community, and she is greeting Flick, veteran also of our community. My greetings, my greetings. Also, I'm joining. Greetings. How are you? Where you been? I mean, there were so many questions about where Flick is gone. I hope everything is okay with you. Questions. Maybe you have a different nickname and I'm not recognizing you. Sorry for that. Let's go through questions. So David McCoy is commenting, good evening everyone. Levan, will there come a point when Russia will resume its place in Europe? I certainly hope so. Well, I mean, what we can say, Putin did try its best to somewhat unite Russia and Europe. And if you remember, 10-15 years ago, there was talks that this zone of friendship and economical cooperation gonna be from Lisbon to Vladivostok. This topic was actively discussed, and Moscow was really actively trying to become a member of this community, European community. But unfortunately, Western ruling class, especially Washington and London, did everything they could to destroy these relationships and to push Russia on a distance from Europe, from Western world. And well, as a result of it, we are now where we are, and I'm afraid it will take decades. It will take decades at best to rebuild relationships, even towards level of good working relationships, because how any government, how anybody from Russian side can trust ever any leader of Western world? Is it even theoretically possible? No, for a long time it would not be possible. So I'm afraid Russia and Europe, roads of Russia and Europe are separated for very long time. And as I was saying previously, quite number of times, Russia basically is civilization on its own, and will feel good in current situation. Russia is becoming closer and closer with the global south, with the rest of the world, really. And if Western world didn't wanted closer cooperations with Russia and friendly, respectful relationships with Russia, then I guess in the long run this decision will harm Western world much more significantly than Russia. That's unfortunate reality. And by the way, Putin, today is presidential elections, third day, final day of presidential elections, and Putin will remain as a president, of course, and he definitely did his best to establish good, working, friendly, respectful relationships with the Western world. No one can say that Putin didn't try. Many people here in Russia was upset with Putin because of it. Because there were, many people here in Russia, influential people, that were on a position that Russia don't really needs to be part of collective West, because Russia is a civilization on its own. And now, because of the actions of the Western world, we are where we are. Russia is standing exactly as it is. Civilization. Closely related with the Western world, obviously. We have so many similarities, by the way. In majority of Russia is a Christian, and therefore there are similarities in the culture, in traditions. Although, of course, for Russia, traditional religions are also Islam and Buddhism, by the way. You might be surprised, but Buddhism is traditional religion for Russia because, for example, Kalmykia, probably many of you heard about this region, Kalmykia. It's a historically Buddhist region, by the way. And Buddhism is a traditional religion there. And Russia was built this way, by the way, multicultural, multi-ethnic, and this is the strength, because it was built quite, naturally become this entity from many different ethnic groups and religious groups. It makes it stronger now, because it was not forceful development like we are seeing now in Europe, when EU basically is grabbing more and more powers from EU member states. In Russia, it went, historically this way, and we are now multicultural, multinational, multi-ethnic, and that's our strength, really. And that's why I'm saying we are civilization on our own. So hopefully I did answer to the question. So more questions. Yet again, dear friends, if I didn't see in caps, in capital letters, I might miss it. Question. So I see a question now. Jesus Aguilar is commenting or question. It's a question. Yulia Navalnaya had some record video releases for the Russian people. Do people even know who Yulia Navalnaya is? If so, what influence does she have with the opposition inside of Russia? Well, I saw her videos today, several videos, by the way. She was in Germany, isn't it? And she had such a big crowd, by the way. It's like 50 people like 30, 50, maybe 70, I don't know, but something like that. So I mean, this definitely gives you weight of this person as a politician. She's not a politician. She's I mean, vast majority of Russian citizens would not know. I learned her name just recently, after Navalny died. I learned her name just recently, because why should I know her name, man? She was just a wife of Navalny. She was not a political activist. She was not a politician. So she was just, you know. And then after Navalny died, the Western ruling elites tried to make from her, as I said from the beginning, by the way, that Western ruling elites will most likely do the same as they did with Venezuela when they picked this, what was that name of that guy? I forget the name of that guy. When they called some random individual that was claiming that he is a president, Washington called him a president. Legit president of Venezuela, which was, I mean, crazy move to do. And because Washington did it, then European state did the same. And where that guy is now? Some people say he is in US giving some lectures. Who he gonna lecture, man? That loser. I mean, really. And there was another instance in Belarus when what was the Tikhanovskaya, or what is name of that Belarusian woman that was presented to the Western public as a leader, legit leader of Belarus or something like that. And I knew from the beginning that most likely Western ruling elites will try to do from Yulia Navalny same story, and they will fail same way as they failed with Venezuela and with Belarus. And that's what's gonna happen, by the way. Yulia Navalny has no influence here in Russia whatsoever. Probably, if I call some meeting, if I try hard enough, man, maybe I will gather more people than she will do. And I'm no politician, I'm no activist, and I don't want to be public figure here in Russia whatsoever, or anywhere else. So I hope I give you good understanding of a scale of her or her weight as a public figure and her influence. She don't really have any influence whatsoever. Unfortunately, some youngsters, because you know, they are youngsters, they don't have a life experience. Some youngsters are fooled by these people that are assets of the West. Yulia Navalny, whoever with her now, but yet again, this is just, I mean, this is not even 0.001%. I mean, there is supporters of her are too low number, and they will never have any influence, any real influence in Russia. It's just not possible. I mean, let's be real, man. If I want to, most likely I will become politician with a much bigger following than she. Or anybody, by the way, with the affiliation with the West. These guys with any affiliation with the West will never ever have any chance here in Russia, by the way. It's not happening. It's just not happening. So it is what it is. And for as I said in the beginning, by the way, it was Germany, if I'm not mistaken. She was meeting with her supporters, and it was like, I don't know, man. Even though she is, by the way, her project, this project, Yulia Navalny, is run by Western secret services, they were unable to bring more people to meet her. Only like 50 people, 70 people. It's a shame, man. Those people who is running this project should be fired, man. They are too bad in this. Question. Turomir is asking, how are you today? Oh, I'm okay. Thank you for attention. And I hope you are okay also, and I hope everybody is feeling good. Questions. Buncher Dent is asking, there is report that Russian tactical missiles are kept ready along the China borderlands. There is reports that Russian tactical missiles are kept ready along the China borderlands. With China? No, man. I mean, Russia has military districts, isn't it? And there are military districts in the European part of Russia, and there are military districts that are in the far east part of Russia, for example, or in Siberia. And of course, forces that are in those military districts constantly are conducting some training exercises and so on. But when it comes to deployment of weapon systems next to Chinese border, no, man. Why? Why? Although of course forces are training for any possible scenario. Right now, chances that there will be some escalation with China are next to zero, obviously, and most likely it will remain this way if both sides will maintain, be careful and maintain current level of partnership, or even improve this partnership. But in both countries, by the way, in China also, there are some military districts, whatever they call it. They are preparing for any possible scenario, Chinese militaries, which is okay, absolutely. And same goes for Russian forces. I mean, they are preparing for any possible scenario. That's what militaries do, by the way. But to say that the Russian side intentionally keeps some forces next to Chinese border because Russia is afraid of something, no, I don't see any such a report, by the way. So maybe some Western media outlets are reporting something like that. I don't know. So Jesus Aguilar is commenting, Latvia the greatest superpower. Yes, and that's hilarious. I mean, it's funny, and it's kind of shame for UK, by the way. If I was British, I will be, I mean, enraged by this. I mean, who are you, for God's sake, to tell me what to do, man? Latvia, just look at yourself, and you know, just stay away. That will be my reaction. I mean, come on, man. UK may have plenty of issues, including with militaries, by the way, and we all know this. There are constant issues with manpower, with military equipment, including brand new multi-billion-pound equipment like aircraft carriers. Yes, UK is weak, not as strongest as used to be historically for last several centuries, but still, by the way, UK is nuclear power, and I don't think Latvia is in position, or any country in Europe, by the way, for that matter, on the continental part of the Europe, to tell United Kingdom what to do and how to do it. I mean, it's you know. Anyway. That's why I shared that information, because it was like funny and same time very strange. So, am I missed some questions, by the way? Oh, question. Nidesh Kumar is asking, how many political parties does Russia have, and how does federal elections happen? What is the role of autonomous regions? Well, when it comes to parties, by the way, there are so many of them. I mean, there's plenty of parties. 4 parties are in the parliament. It's United Russia, that's a ruling party right now. Or it's 5 parties, by the way. Sorry, it's 5 parties in parliament. It's United Russia, it's Communist Party, it's Just Russia, it's a Liberal Democratic Party, and this new party, by the way, New People's Party. Sometimes I'm forgetting that party exists, but it does exist, and it does quite okay for a new party, because they, in very short time, they managed to establish themselves as a federal level party. They are presented in parliament, which is a big deal, because after all, Russia is a huge country, and to get to know people, I mean, you have to be very effective to make sure that, I mean, people all around the country know you. And they are doing something right, I guess, because they are in parliament. And when it comes to autonomous regions or autonomous republics, elections are conducted there in the very same way than in any other region of Russia. It's, I mean, autonomous regions, they have autonomy when it comes to some internal affairs, but when it comes to federal topics that are in charge of which are Moscow or a federal government, then you know, then everything done as federal as constitution demands, and that's it. So there is a divide between the, you know, it's not divide, but there is a clear line what is local topics that autonomous republics are dealing with. It's about economy, local taxes, and rest of it. But they are federal level topics, of course, and presidential election, that's federal level. So their local election committees are doing whatever it takes to make sure that elections are organized correctly. And that's it, really. Autonomous republics are regions. I mean, they are autonomies because it's ethnic autonomies usually. For example, North Ossetia, Alania, majority in North Ossetia, Alania are Ossetians or Alans, descendants of Scytho-Sarmatians. Probably all of you know that civilization that existed in from Ural Mountains and up to Hungary, by the way, and even they had quite fascinating history. I love history, so. And that was some 15 to 15 to 2500 years ago, roughly. And these people, for example, Ossetians, are descendants, and because it's a, I mean, ethnic group, separate ethnic group, they have autonomy. They have cultural autonomy and political autonomy. They are choosing their own leader. They are choosing from several candidates, and then Russian president chooses from a winner. Russian president appoints individual that was popular in the elections, win elections in a republic. And yes, I mean, there are some local issues, as I said, some taxes, social programs, and so on. That is business of local government, and there are topics that are business of federal government. But if you are interested about relationships between Moscow and autonomous republics, there is no issues, really. I mean, Western ruling elites want hard, and they are trying hard to create some separatist movements in Russia, but it will not work, by the way, because these autonomous republics are benefiting immensely by being part of Russia. And everyone understands this. They are benefiting immensely being part of this great country, this unbelievable, and have this unbelievable opportunity that Russia is providing. So there is no way, by the way, it's Russia, modern Russia is not Soviet Union. But Western ruling elites, they were unable to get rid of this Soviet Cold War era mentality. They are stuck in that era, and therefore probably they think Russia is the Soviet Union when I mean it's very different, by the way, very different. Anyway, let's continue. I see John Dickinson, of course, Fred Flanagan. Hello everyone, veterans. And everyone, absolutely everyone, thank you for your attention. And hopefully, dear friends, I'm answering in proper English. After all, English is not my first language, and no matter how hard I'm trying to formulate sentences as fast as possible, it's not always easy to find the right word to express what I think in a better way. So questions. Question. I see one question here. So Joe Van Nierkerk is asking Levan, would Odessa be taken with the slow normal offensive action, as it appears that the West got missionaries stationed in Odessa and could make the life for Russia very difficult in the Black Sea? Well, Odessa will 100% be under Russian control. There can be no question about it. That Odessa region will return to Russia. It's a historical Russian city. It's a historically Russian land in general. Although, by the way, our friends from Romania may remind me that some parts of Odessa region used to be part of Romania before Second World War. And when it comes to this topic, I guess Bucharest and Moscow will have to talk. I don't think Moscow will have any issues with the northern parts of or western, let's say western parts of Ukraine that used to be in Romania before Second World War. But when it comes to southern parts, I don't know. It's gonna be difficult talks between Moscow and Romania. But when it comes to Odessa and Odessa region in general, I have no doubts that no matter what and who Western ruling elite is gonna put in that place, Odessa and Odessa region will go back to Russia, will become a part of Russia. I have not even slight doubts about it. It's 110%, by the way. And I will say same about Kharkov region. I will say same about entire Ukraine, with the exception of western regions, because those western regions most likely will become under control of NATO, and eventually will be claimed by Poland, Hungary, and Romania. Although Slovakia may also have some claims, undoubtedly. And well, rest of the Ukraine most likely will be controlled by Russia, although there is a slight chance, in my opinion, that and I was always leaving that slight chance, that Kiev and surrounding areas, Kiev region basically, will remain as a landlocked quasi-state on the political map as a Ukraine. I don't know why would Moscow ever agree on such a stuff, to maintain Ukraine as a state on a political map. But it might happen. And if you remember, just recently Medvedev was giving a speech on a marathon of Knowledge Society, and while he was giving the speech about borders and so on, behind him there was a map presented on which Ukraine was divided in general, but between Russia and NATO member states. But Kiev and surrounding areas, Kiev region, were marked as a Ukraine, landlocked small state. So that's my answer. Odessa will undoubtedly become Russian. It always was a Russian city and will become Russian city. I have no doubts about it. It's a Russian Jewish city, by the way. Historically speaking, uniqueness of Odessa is that if you hear that Odessa is a Jewish city, don't be surprised, because there was a big Jewish community, and it's a Russian Jewish city. It has it's absolutely unique, by the way, in many ways. Unique humor there, and it's very колоритный. How should I translate колоритный though? It's a wonderful, beautiful place, and used to be part of Russia and will be part of Russia. I have no doubts about it. Let's continue, and I'm quite sure I missed some questions. Smoky Sally is asking, Levan, will China help Gaza? By the way, your English is great. Oh, thank you very much. You've been very kind to me. I'm trying, but faster. Whenever I'm trying to talk faster, of course, it becomes more and more difficult to construct sentences and find right words as fast as possible. When it comes to Chinese support to Gaza, in terms of humanitarian aid, I'm quite sure China already is helping Gaza, like Russia does. Once this conflict will end, if Palestine will be open for Chinese investments, I have no doubts that China will love to invest in Palestine heavily. After all, we all know Belt and Road Initiative of China, and this project is huge, and it has many directions, including towards Mediterranean. But yet again, first of all, let's make sure that there will be peace in Palestine. And in last several days, there were some reports that maybe sides are close to achieve some agreement, and hopefully that will be the case. And then I'm quite sure not just China, but many countries worldwide will help. First of all, with humanitarian aid, to make sure that there is no humanitarian crisis right now. And then, of course, Palestine will need huge support and help to rebuild everything that was destroyed. And when it comes to China, if Palestine will be open to invite Chinese investments, I mean, they will definitely not miss such an opportunity to establish themselves on the Mediterranean. So yes, I see potentially cooperation between Palestine and Gaza. Its main thing is to achieve the occupation, and if Israel will stop intervening in Palestine's internal policies, and if Israel will acknowledge Palestine as an independent state, then things may change very rapidly for Palestine in the best way. So Ruth is commenting, Ruth Greening, your English is just amazing. Oh, thank you. I'm trying though. And Ruth, you are a veteran of our community. Probably you remember when I was starting making these videos like a year ago. I hope from that time to now my English did become a little better, because sometimes I may watch my old videos and I'm realizing that I was really bad. My English was extremely, it was understandable still, but I'm now slow, and can you imagine how slow I was a year ago? So questions. Oh, let me check news agencies. Maybe there are some updates on numbers. So we have some numbers, and RIA Novosti is reporting right now that after 30% of ballots were counted, Putin has 87.68%. Nikolai Kharitonov, a candidate from Communist Party, has 3.95%. Vladislav Davankov, a candidate from New People's Party, has 3.81%, and Leonid Slutsky, candidate from Liberal Democrat Party, has 0.1%. For 8 o'clock Moscow time, 74.22% of voters, electorate participated in the elections. But yet again, this is preliminary data. Of course, only 30% of ballots were counted. For tomorrow morning, most likely we will have maybe not final results. For final results, Central Election Commission will take, of course, more time, maybe even a day or two. But for the morning, we will definitely know close to final numbers. But well, numbers of Putin are really, I mean, immense. 87%, man. I didn't expect that. I have to tell you, by the way. I was thinking 65, 70. That's gonna be huge, of course. 65, 70 is a huge support. But 87, it's just immense. Undoubtedly. Questions? Yes, Savi is also sharing information. After 30% of ballots being counted, Putin has 87.68%. That's what RIA Novosti is sharing, by the way. So, of course, Putin will win these elections. Only question was how many votes he will get. And, I mean, he definitely has huge support. And... Michael Kennedy is commenting, EU is like Soviet Union. I mean, it definitely resembles. I mean, to me personally, I'm living outside of EU, and when I see what is going on in EU, you know, EU and actions of the Brussels more and more reminiscent to the Soviet Union. Not in every sense, of course, but I mean, definitely looks like one. Brussels is constantly asking for more and more powers and gaining more and more control over the member states. Soviet Union was a fast-tracked creation, if I may say this way. European Union is a slow motion process, but results are, I mean, direction are the same, I guess. And by the way, one may say that in Soviet Union there were no elections, although formally there was elections in Soviet Union, but in EU is run by people that are not elected by citizens of European states. Also a similarity, isn't it? Somewhat. Question: has concerned citizen is asking, has the West efforts only result in more public support for President Putin? Undoubtedly, by the way, undoubtedly. You may hear from people that used to be under strong Western propaganda nowadays that, well, they are supporting Putin because they were mistaken. They were thinking that issue of Western ruling elites were just with Putin, but they realized first of all, many people went to the Western states after special military operation began, and they saw attitude towards them. Even though they were ordinary citizens, they didn't start nothing, did not finish nothing. They were just Russian citizens. And attitudes towards them, we all know, is quite rough in the West. That's a first big call for awakening. And of course, society in the West, I don't want to say that I mean, societies in the West are in general Russophobic or no. Unfortunately, significant number of citizens, significant part of societies in the West are under the influence of this extremely xenophobic and Russophobic propaganda of the West, and you know, they are basically being under influence of this propaganda. They are projecting this Russophobia on people that they see, if Russian citizens. In this case, That was a big awakening, of course, and then they lived in the West. They see what was going on there, what is good, what is not. They are coming back and are better realizing that things here in Russia are underestimated. Many people are taking what they have as a granted, and that's biggest mistake that citizen can make, because it's so easy to destroy what you have and to rebuild it. I mean, it will take decades, by the way. Take 90s, by the way, when Russia was Soviet Union just collapsed, and all the former Soviet republics, including Russia, by the way, were bankrupt. There was default, by the way, almost in every single republic of former Soviet Union, including Russia. And how long it took, how many decades to stand on our feet, let's say. So I'm 100%. I mean, your understanding is definitely correct. This extreme Russophobia definitely consolidated society here, undoubtedly. And then you can see in numbers, by the way. You can see in numbers. I was expecting 65-70% support at least for Putin, but well, initial results are that he will receive 80 and more percent. That's a result of this extreme Russophobia from the West. Savi is asking, war should be fought after people's referendum. What do you think? Because it's a do or die situation of a country. I would prefer not to see any wars at all. I mean, wars are never a good idea. It's always destructive force, of course, and unfortunately, whenever military conflicts are starting, nobody ever gonna ask us our opinion of ordinary people, no matter where we are living in this planet. But for example, take a look what happened in Ukraine. How long Russia would tolerate constant escalation from the West towards Moscow? Only for so long, and then 2022 happened, and we are where we are. And by the way, demonization of Russia, many people think that demonization of Russia, this process began from 2022, which is a mistake. This process began from 2008, when Western ruling class, when Washington basically used Saakashvili in Georgia, who was president at the time, to provoke military conflict with Russia. And from 2008, this program that West had to demonize Russia began. And 2022 was just next page on this strategy that was developed by Western ruling elites. And so is question. Come on, Derek. Derek is asking how is Russia losing the war. Are you serious? If you are serious, then please don't watch for a couple of days, by the way. I mean, for a couple of days, maybe a week. Don't watch whatever Western propaganda outlets you are watching or reading, and try some alternative sources. I'm not talking about my channel. I mean, I'm from Russia and I'm pro-Russian. Although, by the way, I'm trying as best I can to provide you information that is relevant here in Russia. So by watching my videos, you can have understanding what is relevant here from our perspective. But look to other channels, by the way. Judge Napolitano's channel. Is it independent enough? For example, Gray Zone, by the way. great journalists on the gray zone. There's so many of them. Duran, by the way, take a look at the Duran. New Atlas, Glenn Greenwald, by the way, and so many of them. It will take just a week or two, and you will realize that whatever you was told by Western MSM was 90% lies. They might put some 10% true, but in general it's lie. After all, dear friends, when I was making videos for my second channel, many of you probably know, From Russia with Levan, it's a political channel. It's just about life in Russia, and or during the walk and talk videos, by the way, which I do for this channel also. There was time to time questions in the comment when people were surprised, truly surprised, that there was supermarkets open here in Russia, and there was goods in the supermarkets, and there are shopping malls working as usual, and streets are nice, and buildings are nice, and people are not queuing in for bread, and people are not starving. I mean, many viewers were kind of shocked, because in the West, I don't know what programs they were watching in the West, but they had very different understanding of the situation in Russia, you know. Questions. Just do this commenting German YouTube channel called Дружба or Дружба FM for German speakers. Oh, please. There are so many channels, by the way, that are, you know, independent and are trying to provide information. Yes, I mean, control demolition is commenting with the names of channel. I mean, Judge Napolitano, Duran, Gray Zone, the New Atlas, Dialogue Works, through the eyes of foreign agent Mike Jones. Yes, Mike Jones, by the way, unfortunately lost his channel on YouTube. He was blocked, but he is active on Telegram. Eva Barton, George Galloway. Of course, George Galloway would not have a time to, I guess, to be more active on the programs, because he's an MP, by the way, now, which is, I mean, definitely a huge victory for British society, because they need to be independent, same voice in the British Parliament. By the way, it was extremely necessary, and it's a hope, by the way, that more and more people like George Galloway will gain popularity in UK, and if that's the case, then maybe at someday we will see that London will try diplomacy first, and only then will look for a force. And I wish US will do the same, by the way. Unfortunately, right now, they are always first are thinking to do some action, and then think about the stuff, when it has to be exactly the other way around. Just try diplomacy first, man. Maybe it works. Questions. So, dear friends, oh, it's already more than an hour now. And DD Geopolitics, yes, by the way. So if I may, dear friends, I will end. Patrick Lancaster, of course, Patrick Lancaster. There's so many, by the way. So many. Celeb Mapin channel, undoubtedly he is very active as a journalist. Thank you. Hourcraft. So there's so many channels, by the way, and that gives us a hope, isn't it? That more and more people will wake up, and if that's the case, we will not allow these destructive forces to, you know, do their evil plans, to achieve their evil goals, or, you know. But anyway, if I may, I will end this update now. We had a good conversation, isn't it? Thank you all for your attention, and of course, oh dear friends, I did not check. Oh, Ruski Brat is thank you for your donation first of all, and Ruski Brat is writing Slava России, Slava Vladimir Vladimirovich и Slava Slava Levan. Thank you, Ruski Brat. Благодарен за поддержку. I'm grateful for your support. And dear friends on Boosty, I have also I have a tip on Boosty from Carlos Gaspar, and also from Malina. Thank you, dear friends, for your support. Unfortunately, I don't know what is going on with Boosty, but in some cases I can comment back to thank, but sometimes, like now, I'm trying to thank you, to write comment back, and I can't. But I'm extremely grateful for your support and attention. Thank you. And well, if I may, I will end this live stream now. Once again, thank you all for your attention. Very grateful. Have a great day, and